Okay, all right, shalom, shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakal Quadash. I want to say and give double honors to the apostles and the bishop elders of Great Millstone for teaching his word in truth and sincerity and for ruling well. And salutations to the elect, Lord willing, with some of those men and women who believe and fear Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Hey, I'm my brother Gabar Yahweh from GMS Hawaii, coming to you with another lesson. And this lesson was inspired by a video I was watching with the elder brothers from the main camp, Elder Sabar, Elder Bishop Karab, and the Bishop Elder Elder Big Ed, along with the brother Kassad. And they had mentioned something in this video. Well, the elder brother Salakia. I want to say his name is it's not Shamar Salakia, brother. If you know what I'm talking about. Shemayawan, elder brother Shemayawan. He had brought out some information in this video. That's why I entitled the lesson, "The U.S. Code proves that America is America is a corporation. It's no longer a nation. It's not a country, right? Not in the sense that you know it as it was established." Yep. Okay. So when people say America is a country and they scream this nationalism, there's no nationalism in this country, right? So I definitely wanted to shout out the elder brothers. You can go to the brother GMS Adawan Kassad page. It's also on another page, but you can go to this brother's page and be edified by this lesson. It's about an hour and 54 minutes. Okay. But so it made me look it up. So obviously that's what we do. We search out all things, right? We look things up around here. All right. And there it is right here in front of you. Okay. It says 28 U.S. Code section 3002 15A. It says the 28 U.S.C., which stands for U.S. or United States Code 3002 15 defines the United States as a federal corporation and an agency or other entity of the United States. It is part of Title 28 of the United States Code, which governs federal judicial systems. All right. So this is not a country. That's why you have a president, right? You have a president of a corporation. You got CEOs. You got presidents. You got vice presidents. All right. And then you got officers underneath of them, managers. And that's what happened today. Today you had the inauguration of a new augur, all right, a warlock, right, which is Donald J. Trump, right? This image right here. Right? Donald J. Trump just got in the office again, and now he's his family, they got this this so-called royal-like mentality, right? This ruling class mentality, this pride, this pompous look on these faces. But this is the new augur again, right? He's the 47th president, I believe. He's the 45th and 47th president. All right. Donald J. Trump has become the new officially. All right. He's officially in there. So things is about to take a drastic turn for this country and the people in it. Right. All hell's about to break loose. He claims he's about to usher in a golden era for the United States. Right. And y'all already had your golden era. So you're not going to get another golden era. All right. But this is what they believe with the New World Order. These people, it's a wonder why, if you watch the inauguration, you can tell that these people have a disconnect from the people that claim that thought they voted them in, because their votes didn't count. Like your votes, Americans don't vote in the president. The president is elected, right? Just type in this question right here. Do Americans actually vote for the president, right? And the answer is going to be no, right? Are Americans actually voted in for presidency? And it's let me see. Slovakia. It was a lot of information on it because the Electoral College. Let me ask Chat GPT, man. All right, let me ask Chat GPT. Let's go to Chat GPT real quick. Open AI Chat GPT. Right? Do Americans actually vote for the president? Right? And let's see what it says. It says, yes, Americans vote for the president, but the process is indirect due to the electoral college system. Here's how it works. Popular vote. When Americans go to the polls on election day, they cast their votes for the president and vice president. However, they are technically voting for a state of electors pledged to represent their chosen candidate. Electoral college, each state has a set number of electoral votes determined by the total number of U.S. senators and represents the House, which varies and based on a state's population. There are 538 total electoral votes. Winner takes all, mostly. In most states, the candidate who wins the majority of the popular vote in that state gets all the electoral votes. This is known as a winner takes all. Only Maine and Nebraska use a proportional system to allocate votes. So it says, this is not what I wanted. But there was something that came up. Salaki, come on, bro, with the bullshit. Right? Salakia. Come on, man. It just covered the whole damn page, bro. What the fuck? I don't know what's going on, man. There we go. There was something that came up. It was an article that came up about it, basically saying that Americans don't really vote for their hold on. American populace don't vote for the president. And it might give us the same information it did. Why millions of Americans don't vote in the U.S. elections, blah, blah, how many people didn't vote, blah, blah, blah. Millions of voter turnout. So I can't find it right now, but there's information on it. Basically, it's an indirect vote, like ChatGPT said. All right. If your state don't want to vote for him, for that particular president, those votes can swing to the other candidate. Okay. So going back into the U.S. code of this place being a corporation and not a country, right? It says the 28 U.S. 3002 is a section of the United States Code that defines terms related to federal debt collections. The definition is the sections are only for purpose of the chapter in which they appear. The section includes a definition of garnishee judgment and prejudgment remedy. Blah blah blah. United States means a federal. The United States means a federal corporation, an agency, department, and commission board, or other entity of the United States, or an instrumentality of the United States. Right. So that's proof there. And again, you got a president today. You got a new augur put in office today, and this guy is going to be the head of the country for the next 4 years. Okay, for the next 4 years, this guy's going to rule. So it show you right there. And there's a movie called Network. All right, there's this movie called Network. All right, and it was from 1976. And there's a quote. It says, "There are no nations. There are no peoples. There is only IBM, ITT, AT&T, DuPont, Dow, Union, Cambridge, Exxon. Those are the nations of the world today," right? Because corporations, the super elite, rule these nations across the world via their corporations. They're just another entity. They use the economic system that they created to rule over the people, to keep the people in debt, to keep the people at bay. And they select leaders. Your leaders are not elected. All the leaders are selected from a group of insiders. Just like we saw today at the Trump inauguration, all them people that was there were all insiders. and they were all high-level Satanists, but they have to feign religiosity. They have to feign a religious um, mindset, because what they do, they swore, both of these, the president and vice president, supposedly swore on a stack of Bibles, right? One of these Bibles supposed to be Donald Trump's mother's Bible, right? And they swore on it. And the scriptures speak about you ain't supposed to swear, right? You ain't supposed to swear by anything. It's to swear not by anything. KJV, all right, right. It says Matthews. Let's go to Matthews 5:34, right? Matthews 5:34. St. Matthew 5, verse 34. It says, "But I say unto you, swear not at all, neither by heaven, for it is the Most High's throne." So you're not supposed to put your hand on the Bible, put your left hand on the Bible, which all of that comes from Masonic rituals anyway. And if you saw the inauguration, that was nothing more than a Masonic or high-level satanic ritual, right? It says, "But I say unto you, do not make any vows. Do not say by heaven, because heaven is the Most High's throne." And this is what Trump said. He said what? He swears to defend the office of the presidency in the United States, so help him God. And we know that the God that they were talking about was not Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. They were talking about Satan. Because when the fake pastor got up there and said something about Jesus, ain't none of these people's eyes minced. They had the fake pastor, the fake reverend get up there and talk about his Lord Jesus Christ, which that's a so-called white man, right? Jesus is a white man. They don't represent the truth of who Yahushua is, all right? And just like this, all this pomp and circumstance, right? Which really, again, was a consecration. They consecrated a new ruler for the U.S., right? And they gave it back to this guy, Donald J. Trump. Okay, he became the president of the corporation we call America today, officially, right? Officially. The brother Salvation for the Elect says, Psalms 50:16, but the Most High saying to the wicked, why bother reciting my decrees and pretending to obey my covenant? Oh, that's good. For you refuse my discipline and treat my words like trash. And that's exactly what these devils did and do. They did it today, and they constantly do it, right? They recite these decrees. They were claiming to read out of the Bible. They were quoting the Bible. They did not read out of the Bible. They quoted certain things out of the Bible, right, to feign that so-called Christian identity, right? But they don't believe anything that's in the Bible. They don't even believe in the Most High. So it says, why bother reciting my decrees and pretending to obey my covenant? And that's what they do, right? For you refuse my discipline and treat my words like trash. So America's not going to be governed by the Bible, right? Because that's not their law. That's not what they prescribe. They prescribe grievousness, right? The scripture says this in the book of Isaiah, excuse me, chapter 10, verse 1. Woe unto you that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed, right? And that's exactly what all the laws, these U.S. codes and laws that they establish here in this corporation, they're all unrighteous decrees, right? And they're grievous. It says to turn aside the needy from judgment. And who are the needy? We are the Israelites. And to take away the right from the poor of my people. And that's exactly what Esau has done. He's taken the right from us, the Lord's people, that widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless. And that's what you see happening. It's been happening. All right. It says they deprive the poor of justice. And who's the most deprived people in this corporation? Called America. The Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. All right. And they deny the rights of the needy among my people. They prey on widows and take advantage of orphans, man, with children, right? Fatherless children. And that's what you see out here. Even if a Jake do got a dad out here, it's like he doesn't have one, right? because this is what this man does. This all his laws are grievous, man. Let's go to another precept. The book of Isaiah, chapter 5, verse 20. Isaiah 5, verse 20. It says, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil. And that's exactly what they do in this corporation, right? They everything that's evil, they call it good. But everything that's good, which all things that Yahweh Bashar Shai have prescribed for us are good. The law, statutes, and commandments, they are good, especially to live in this world. But they say it's evil that put darkness for light, right? The light of the wicked. Trump was saying at the inauguration, he was speaking about this bright lights, the shining sun, all of these things at this, which those that's all illuminary talk, right? Because he's a lesser illuminary. He's illuminated, all right. He has the light of the wicked, all right. But they say the light of the wicked is light, but in reality is darkness, all right. And they say the light of righteousness is darkness and not light. So it says they what is that? What was I reading? Salakia, I forgot where I was at. Isaiah 5 and 20. Right. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight. Woe unto them that are mighty to drink wine and men of strength to mingle strong drink. Right. And woe meaning destruction unto you. Right. Because while his dude was talking about this light, a couple of things has kind of stood out, right? I found out about the code that calls America a corporation through the Elder Brothers, and then I went on the WhatsApp, and brothers had posted this up right here. This is the rotunda, right? This is right up. Trump was consecrated underneath of this rotunda right here, all right? And you see a picture of George Washington. It's George Washington is like a god to these people, right? In this world, right? This slave holding monster demon, they uphold him like a god, and he's in that Baphomet pose, right? As above, so as below, or as below, so as above, right? This is that Baphomet pose that he's sitting in, and over top of him it says "E pluribus unum," which is out of many one. Okay. Right, and all this goes back to being an augur. And what do they have up there? They got Poseidon. I think this is Athena, right, with some of the so-called founding fathers. Then you got other idols over here, and all of this goes back to where? All this goes back to Rome and Greece, but mainly Rome, because that's what this place is. It's Rome all over again, and I'm gonna prove it. Right, this is Daniel 7 and 7. After this I saw in the night vision, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. And we know that is the ancient Roman Empire. Okay, the pagan Roman Empire, but we're still living in the Roman Empire again. And what made Rome diverse from all other kingdoms is that the other kingdoms had monarchies, right? They had monarchies forever. And then Rome did away with monarchies, and they put up their own leaders. Once a year, they would get a new leader. I think until like Julius Caesar came, and then he became either Julius Caesar or Augustus became emperor. Julius Caesar was the emperor. He was like dictator for life. And then the Caesars, then you had emperors, right? They used to get voted in every so often, but then they became an empire after they got bigger. But they was different because instead of having a king, they had a senate, right? They had two different parties, the patricians and the plebeian parties. The same thing they have today in America. They have a president, right? He will be likened unto the emperor who was voted in by the senators. and he could be taken out of power by the senators as well, right? And then you had, that's why you got impeachments. Back in the day, they had assassinations, right? So then you have also, you got the Senate, you got the two-party system, the plebeian and the patricians, which today you have the Democrats and the Republicans, all right? And that's different than the other empires like Babylon, the Assyrian Babylonian captivity empire. They had a king, Nebuchadnezzar, right? You had even the Greek Empire. They had what? He had a king, Alexander the Great. He was king of Macedon. His father Philip was king of Macedon, and when his father Philip died, he took that role. You had the ancient Egyptian empire. They had pharaohs. They're like kings, right? All these different nations, they had kings, right? Rulers over them. But when Rome came into power, they changed it around. And this rotunda, Salakia, this rotunda, right? It goes back to bear with me, brothers. The rotunda, this image, it goes back to this, the Apotheoses of Washington. The Apotheoses of Washington is a fresco painted in Greek Italian by Greek Italian artist Constantino Brumidi, right? This is the devil. In 1865, visible through the oculus. Now remember this word oculus, because it's going to come back up, of the dome of the rotunda in the United States Capitol building in Washington, D.C. Okay? Now, where else were there buildings with an oculus on it? Well, let's go to the Pantheon in Rome. And guess what? They still build like this. Did I get the picture for this? I think I did. Thought I did. Right here. Right? They still build like this. When you look at the Capitol, the U.S. Capitol, look at this. This is a Roman structure. And everything they do, this is where the dome, this is the dome where that Apotheoses of Washington is painted at. They call it the rotunda. It's also deemed an oculus too on the inside. In ancient Rome, that oculus, it shine light in it through the sun, right? And this is how they built. This is how you know this is Rome all over again, but people refuse to see it or refuse to believe it. But it is. This is a good picture right here. It's a reconstruction of the ancient temple back, or the Pantheon, right? That they had. And again, they still build like this today, right? And not only do they build, but they also follow the customs and the ways of the Roman Empire today, and other empires, but mainly Rome all over again. Okay, let me see if anything on common board. So this is, not only is this corporation, this country a corporation, or this country no longer a nation anymore, it's also the rebirth of the Roman Empire. And again, they've been built, it before it hit Rome, they built like this in Petra, right? They try to attribute this. Salakia, brothers. Give me a second. They try to attribute this to the Nabateans, but this come out of Mount Seir. This is what Esau and his people built when they dwelt in Mount Seir, the clefts of the rocks. Okay? It used to be an eagle perched up on top of here. But this is the same way. They took it out of the mountains and then they put it onto the ground. And they always built this way. Nobody ever asks, what is America's infatuation with ancient Rome? Well, let's ask the question to Google. Why are so many structures in America built after Roman architecture? Right? Why are so many buildings or structures in America built after Roman architecture? Many structures in America, particularly government buildings, are designed with Roman architectural elements because the founding fathers wanted to symbolize the ideals of democracy, stability, and power associated with ancient Rome, using features like columns, domes, and symmetrical layouts to convey the sense of authority and grandeur to the new nation. This style is often called neoclassical, man. You see? Why? Because this is Rome all over again. Not it's not just people that are reincarnated. Kingdoms are reincarnated. Okay? And this is where we're at. When you look at the statue of Nebuchadnezzar, statue uh Neb I know I spelled his name wrong. Right here. The Nebuchadnezzar dream that the statue that Nebuchadnezzar dreamed of, right? This is what it says. Go right here. Click on this, click on that. Right. It says right here. It says what it says to do, but I don't like this one. Because the Roman Empire, there's another picture too. Give me a second, but I'm just trying to find a picture. Yeah, beautiful. Check this out, brothers. Check this out. Check this out. Check this out. So it says right here, it says the great image of Nebuchadnezzar, and I'm just going to focus on the I'm going to focus on the legs, right? Because this is the fourth beast. You had the first beast. The first beast was the Neo-Assyrian or Neo-Babylonian or Assyrian-Babylonian Empire. The second one was, or the chest and the arms, was the Persian and the Medes, and the belly and the thighs was the bronze, represents the Greco-Macedonian Empire or the Greek Empire via Alexander the Great. And the iron legs, it says, of the iron represented the Roman Empire. After Alexander's death, his Hellenistic empire continued in divided form until its divisions were taken over by Rome. The two legs apparently signify the east and west division that characterized the late Roman Empire. Then you got the iron and the clay, feet and toes. Extending from the legs are feet and toes of the iron mixed with clay, a brittle and unstable mixture because it would not bond well. These represents the final phases of the Roman Empire, which will be made up of 10 kings, some strong and some weak. And that's those European nations. That's those European nations. And in between that, you had 1,000 years before the second leg of Roman Empire that we're in. You had 1,000 years. They call it the Middle Ages or the Dark Ages. And that's when we were ruling, and the Edomites were a no people, right? They were casted into in the mountains, forced into the wilderness until they came up out of that. And now we're here. And this is where Yahweh Shai is going to come in and take all of this down. He's going to destroy all the heathens' kingdoms, especially with the last one being Esau, Edom. And see, here it is, Vocab Malone and other people that are against the truth, right? Against the will and words of Yahweh Shai. The people that are against that, they don't want to see that. They don't want to believe it. But hey, everything points to this. This is a prophecy. Going back into the book of Daniel, right? It says, again, Daniel 7:7. After this, I saw in the night vision, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with its feet, right? It was diverse because of that military. That Roman military was extremely powerful. Just like today, this Edomite slash Roman Part 2 Empire military might, which stems out of Washington, D.C., is the strongest military on the earth. All right? This Edomite military. And then they got the other lesser nations, European nations, they have smaller militaries, and they get together and they form NATO, like Voltron, right? and they introduced other nations too since then, but it's mainly NATO is about protecting the European powers, right? You had something called the Treaty of Rome, right? That was established in 19 the treaty what's it called? The Treaty of Rome? I believe it's called the Treaty of Rome. Yep. The Treaty of Rome, which created the EEC, which ended up becoming the EU, right? The Treaty of Rome, also known as the EEC Treaty, was signed in Rome on March 25th, 1957, established the European Economic Community and the European Atomic Energy Community, right? And we know that this is nothing but Edomite nations, right? The banking elite, they backed all of this. This wasn't a multicultural, multi-ethnic group of people. This was all Edomites, right? And I believe one guy said when he was signing the treaty, he actually felt like a Roman. And why did they do it in Rome? Because Rome has great significance to Edom. That was the apex of their rulership. All right. And we're back at it again today. And again, some forms you can understand it in is in what? In their architecture, right? These supposed to be buildings from ancient Rome, but they were building like this in ancient Edom. This is Petra. And then now here in America, they're building the same way. And they're going through, they following the same policies and customs, right? And they're doing everything that the scripture said they were going to be doing in the end. Okay? And then not only do they do that, their political system, they use an augur, right? So today, again, January 20th, 2025, the hopeful year of our deliverance and the destruction of Esau, Edom, right? Donald Trump was inaugurated and he was put into office again. It says inaugurate is to begin or introduce a system of policy or period, right? So it says to admit formally to the public office. So they were admitting this dude into the public. They had already deemed him the president. That's why they called him the president-elect, right? But they had to formally make it so that the whole world could see it. And that's what they did today. Oh, look, inaugurate goes back to what? To consecrate. And this dude got consecrated today, right underneath for the right underneath for he got consecrated today. I'm so sorry. And right in here, I don't need to get another picture. He got consecrated right in here, right? So this dude was consecrated. He was made what? To consecrate means to what? To consecrate, to make or declare something. Typically, a church sacred, dedicate formally to a religious or divine purpose. Right now, there's the word inaugurate has the word augur in it. Inaugurate, right? Inaugurate, right? It says to consecrate or install when omens are favorable. And this is what we had today, an inauguration, because the omens were favorable for this guy. It's a ceremonial investiture with office, an act of solemnly or formally introduced. And it was an act of solemnly. Everybody was acting all solemn at the thing. They were all quiet. They were all orderly. It wasn't a revel. They wasn't throwing back drinks and partying. It was a solemn assembly for them, formally introducing what? The new warlock, right? The new CEO, the new president, right, of the Corporation of America, or setting in motion anything of importance, right? And they definitely about to set in motion the will of the super elite, the MOTB, Jacob's Trouble. It's about to go down. And it says anything of importance or dignity, right? Installation, consecration, right? Consecration, and directly from the late Latin inauguratum, right? Consecration, presumably originally installment under good omens, not a noun of action from the past participant, inaugura, to take omens from the flight of birds. And they had a big symbol. That's why you see Air Force Two, I believe it's called. It's that helicopter. It takes off. The old president, he leaves off in a bird, right, which is that helicopter. Now, I'm not sure what they do in the dark because they don't show us that portion, but they have a lot of symbology in that, right? That's why it says what to take omens from the flight of birds, and that's why, what is it, Air Force 2, the helicopter, um, um, yeah, this right here, Marine One, right? It's called Marine One. This is a bird, right? It's a mechanical bird, but it's still a bird. And this is why they take flight. When the other one is leaving out of the office, they take them out, they fly them to the airport or whatever, Virginia, and they fly them up out of here safely and sound, well protected and well guarded. All of that goes back to this, right? To install when omens are favorable. And it says on in, which is auguer, to act as an augur. Now, what is an augur? An augur in ancient Roman's functionary whose duty was to observe, interpret auspices, or reputed natural signs concerning future events. So this dude, basically, we know that he knows what's about to happen in the next 4 years. They already got it planned out. Right, from the 1540s, from the Latin augur, a religious official in ancient Rome, and that's what this dude Trump is. He's a warlock. He's an augur, perhaps originally meaning an increase in crops. This is why he said we're ushering in a new golden age of America. It's supposed to be a new increase for this place. In ritual, it says an increase in crops enacted in ritual, in which case it probably is from the old Latin augurs. The increase is related to auguro, to increase, right? More popular theory is that from the Latin, because the flights, singing, and feeding of birds were important objects of divination. In the case of the second element, would be from guer, to talk. Yeah, so this dude, and that's what that nigga was doing. He get on that microphone and he starts speaking. An augur, a verb, predict, prognosticate. Ooh, look at that. Go now with that prognosticate. Caters, Salakia. Let me get that word right there. Because this is in the Bible. Right? Because this man think that his augurs and his prognosticators, right? Salakia. Prognosticate. I know this word is in there. Yep, Isaiah 47 and 12. Isaiah 47 and 12. Right? It says, stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. And that's what Esau uses, because they don't believe in Yahweh Shem Shai. They have no attachment to the right-hand side of Yahweh Shem Shai. So they have to go through the left. And through the left, you got to go through witchcraft, right? Sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be, thou shalt be able to profit. If so be, thou mayest prevail. Thou art weary in a multitude of thy counsel. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, and the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things which shall come upon thee. And that's their hope. Their hope is that they'll be delivered from through their astrologers, prognosticators. Many presidents had astrologers in offices, right? Witches. An astrologer is nothing but a witch, a stargazer, a witch, a prognosticator, a witch, or a warlock, right? That's what they have in office, high level. Okay, that's exactly what they have. It's all goes back to divination, and then they have the people thinking that these people are religious and that they believe in the Lord and that they believe in the words that are written in the Bible, but they don't. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This dude right here, where he at? Where this dude at? Right here, this man right here, he's a warlock, man. An old school warlock, man. Right? His wife's a witch. She had all that black on, that black and white Masonic colors. She had the hat on. It was another witch there too with a hat on. I think she was a black woman, right? This smug, diabolical demon, okay, along with the rest of them, right? These people don't look at their the people that claim to voted, all that poor white trash that put this dude in office, all you Negroes and Latinos who voted for that guy, y'all votes didn't matter. They don't care about y'all at all. Okay, that's why they didn't let y'all see the inauguration today. You had to watch it on TV, right? They said they didn't want to have it outside because it was too cold. It wasn't that damn cold. I've seen inaugurations where it was way colder, but they had it in there because they didn't want they want to make sure that they man get in there and that no crazy person try to come up against them and get him up off the earth because he got a job to do. And this man, Lord willing, he's going to be the last president of the United States. We're going into the 250th year of America, right? How long has oh come on, bro, the bullshit, man. How long has America been a country? Okay, how many years? How many years? How many years? How many years? Right, they were still 245 years. Technically, America is 245 years old. The nation's first declared her independence from Great Britain in 1776, man. So what, 2000, we in 2025. That was in 2021. So 4 years later, we're at, yes, right, 249. 249 years, right? One more year makes 250. And there's a saying, I couldn't find it, but they claim that empires don't last past 250 years, right? Some lasted longer, but that's what they claim, right? Roman Empire lasted 500 years, but really the first portion lasted 250, and then the second portion where Jake ruled was another 250, and it was over in the 14th century. Okay, so this is man, it's about to go down, Lord willing. Lord willing, this is the hey, Nero, he's back. Nero's back. Okay. And it's about to get bad out here, but it's all good. The Lord gonna protect his elect. It don't matter. Right? The scripture says no enchantment can work against Jacob. Right? The brother Yahweh posted 1 Corinthians 15, 24 and 25. Then cometh the end when he shall have delivered up the kingdoms to the Most High and even the Father, when he shall have put down all rule and authority and power, for he must reign. That's Yahushua. So nothing's going to stop Yahushua's reign. He got to reign till he have put all his enemies under his feet. Right? So Yahushua coming down personally, man. You about to get a personal visit from the only begotten Son himself. Okay? Right? America's going to be destroyed, turned into a fucking wasteland. Hey, so with that, this has been the U.S. Code 28 U.S.C. 3002. Proves America is a corporation. I hope you were edified. I hope you got something out of it. With that, I'm saying shalom. On to the next.